Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Crusher Trading Recap Show for Monday, September 23rd, 2024. Yes, we did crush it with $492 today. Doesn't look like a lot, but you know what? I only took about 10 contracts. Normally I take about 50 to 100 contracts. So maybe it could have been worth about $3,000. Who knows? But I am keeping it a little bit soft still. I was psyched out last week just because I've been green with the strategy since the beginning of July. And so taking it a little bit easy. We'll work back up into our 50 to 100 contracts again. But today we had some really good trades with the strategy, and I'll get into those in just a second here. But do me a favor, click the like button. And if you haven't subscribed right now, it'd be a perfect time to subscribe. You can learn a really cool strategy that has daily cash flow. I'm live Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 11. So like I said, if you subscribe, you'll get those alerts in the morning, and then you can trade with us and learn how to play the strategy. The trade of the day was... there it is, Meta and NVIDIA. Meta was the main trade, and I had a smaller one, a really small one on NVIDIA, which I'll get into. But you can see I want to get in first on the daily right here. I'm in a swing trade right now on Meta, and basically I have this week's expirations. And when you see price get outside the Bollinger Bands, it generally is going to move itself back into the bands at some point. Now we got 3 candles, which is pretty rare, outside the bands. And, I didn't expect that to happen, but this is where we're at. So I had a couple contracts on Thursday, and then we moved up and I added a couple more. And then today I added 8 more, and we got a nice move to the downside. So I'm looking really good on the trade as of now, as long as it doesn't move up again. So this is kind of all about management, because as the price moves outside the bands and it keeps moving up, the Bollinger Band also keeps moving up. So if price gets back into the band up here and we got in down here, and we haven't added to the trade at all, we're going to definitely be red for the trade. Now, what I do need is we need to get back into the bands here at some point before Wednesday noonish, hopefully in the morning, because I have this week's expirations. And so unless I'm green on the trade, we'll see what happens. But I'm hoping that we maybe dip a little bit in the morning and I can trim some of them swings. But for today... this is what we had on Meta outside the Bollinger Bands right here on the 1 hour, and then on the 5 right here, right into the crush it zone, and the 0.382 level on the 1 hour. And that's pretty much where I got into the trade is there. And I think that took place at 10 o'clock. And I just carried this all the way down to the 0 line. I know there were some other people that took the trade with us. I think they hung on to it a little bit longer, probably did a little bit better than I did. But that was my goal. I hit my targets. I was done. And I was happy with that trade. The second trade was on NVIDIA. NVIDIA was a pretty decent trade here. And that one took place also in the crush it zone at about, what time was that at? About 10:42. So you can see on the 5 here, we're outside the Bollinger Bands in the crush it zone. And I have this nice candle to the upside right here. And I didn't get into this trade until about the 50% mark right here, on the intraday marker at the 0.618 level. So when I had this impulsive candle, I got in. I took it up to this impulsive candle here, the red one, on the 1 minute, and I was out. That was it. Maybe worth $100, and I was happy for the day. That's kind of really all I intended to do, was just have a little bit of a base hit. I know some of the other people in the room made some money on these trades, and they probably did a lot better than I did. But let's see where else the crush it trade setup took place today. We have AMD, we have nice moves outside the Bollinger Bands, but not in the crush it zone that I like to trade. So nothing on AMD. Didn't take anything on Amazon either, but we do have the 1 hour crush it zone here on Amazon. You can see that the Bollinger Bands are kind of moving horizontally, so that's usually a good indicator that you can get a nice scalp out of this to the downside. A nice scalp to the upside also from the 0 line. Once again, I did not get in on that one, but the best one of the day for me was right here on Meta. And another reason I kind of went small is I'm not fond of the spreads on Meta. They're big. You're starting yourself $15 per contract in the hole, and it always makes me a little sketchy. So, but all in all, it was a really, really good trade. Down here to the previous day high, we had about a $9 move. So Meta was definitely the trade of the day. So there's one right there in the crush it zone. And then we had, let's see, Microsoft outside the Bollinger Bands running horizontally here. And then we at the 1 hour, and we were at the another fib level right here. So that would have been a decent trade. Once again, outside my wheelhouse there. And then we had a $3 move here on Tesla right here at the crush it zone to the downside. So $2.69. Now you wouldn't have gotten the whole move, maybe about 70% of that, but still a really good trade down to the zero line or almost to the zero line there. And then we had Nvidia, which is the one I got in on here too, right here at the crush it zone for the move up. And you wouldn't have gotten stopped out. So if you were holding your trailers, you would not have gotten stopped out, and you could have moved even higher and scaled out up into the 0.618 level here on the 1 hour. So that was a really good trade. So we had the crush it trade setup take place 3 times. This is a really good strategy. It sets up almost every single day on one of the 6 tickers that we trade. So if you want to learn the strategy, you should tune in Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 11. And like I said, if you haven't subscribed yet, right now would be a perfect time to subscribe. And then you'll get those notifications in the morning when we go live, and you can come in and learn the strategy. Okay? It's a great cash flow strategy. All right, guys, take care, and let's try again tomorrow at 9:30, bright and early. Take care. Have a good night.